Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clear Point podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, shway, crispy, irie? Well, you'll probably say, hey, what are you doing here on a Sunday? But today is a special day. And if you didn't know, big up to all the mums out there. It's Mother's Day here in the UK, so big up to all the mums. It's also a special day for the people who are celebrating Eid. So big them up too. Happy Eid to those people who are celebrating. But the mums out there, gotta say a massive big up to you. You know what I mean? Carrying us in your stomach for 9 months. You know what I mean? Taking all that pain and everything, all the suffering and everything like that. And you know, you're doing those things during those 9 month period. I have to give you a special shout out for that. You know what I mean? Because obviously it's something that, you know, you've gone through and you've had to deal with for that period of time. So there's a massive big up, because obviously it's something that doing those things and being in that moment where you're bringing a life into this world, it's a massive shout out to me. You know what I mean? That's just, there's no pain above that pain, but there's no pain like a mother's love. Do you know what I mean? And doing all of that, massive respect. You're probably saying, you seem like you're stumbling a bit, Randy, and I am. And the reasons why I'm stumbling, I've got a bit of a cold, played some football yesterday, so I'm a bit under the weather. I didn't really sleep great either, so my head's a bit scrambled like eggs, but I'm not going to try and use that as an excuse to not come here and deliver you the podcast. Do you know what I mean? And also, it is the 30th special today. You know what I mean? 30th episode special of the second season of the Clear Point podcast, so I'm happy to bring that to you guys. Obviously the voice is a bit monotone. I'm going to try and up the ante, you know, ante up and all of that. Yak that fall, ante up, can't yak that fall, hit him, all of that. I'm going to try and give you what I can give you with obviously how the voice is feeling right now. So I've got up and the voice is feeling very monotone, you know what I mean? I need to slap some life into this voice, and I will do. I probably will be sniffing a lot as well. As I said, I've got a cold, background noise as well. I'll be doing the madness, so don't hold that against me. As I said, as I always used to say here, I'm not alone. It's just the things that I'm going through. But anyways, let me stop waffling on, because I've waffled on for a while. But you know, big up the mums out there again, and obviously the people who are celebrating, because obviously want you all to know how much it's appreciated. But yeah, let's get on to some advice, obviously, for this episode. I usually should say what's to come for this 30th special episode. Obviously, the advice, we're going to come to some pick your poison as well with this episode. We're getting to obviously talking about Adolescence. I've watched the first 2 episodes, so we'll talk about Adolescence. The FA Cup reactions. I think obviously there's currently a game happening now. I believe it's Bournemouth against Man City. So we will talk about the reactions and the results to that, as obviously well as the Premier League. So we'll go into that as well. But anyways, let's get on to officially and start the Clear Point podcast. All right, the first piece of advice I've got. Excuse me. My boyfriend said he's disgusted by me because I used to do OnlyFans. Now this is already going to be a mad one. Let's get into what this is saying. When him and I first met, I was a stranger and he was a regular at the club I worked at. I told him up front that I did only. Well, fast forward almost 2 years later today, he told me that he's turned off by me, basically disgusted by my past. He has bought fornications before from multiple women and was in a strip club regular, was he? I just went quiet when he told me that I'm trying so hard to make up for my past. When I was 18, I was told I was ugly by everyone around me, and I started to do some adult content because I wanted people to think I'm beautiful. Excuse me. Now I'm 20, I long quit OF and stripping and try to find self-worth. I'm going to church, praying, reading, hobbies. I love my BF so much. And today he just tore me down saying all that to me. He follows half-naked women on Instagram. He watches adult content. He rarely tells me I'm beautiful. Sometimes he doesn't even want to have fornications with me. And now he tells me I'm disgusting for my past. I'm just so hurt. I'm probably going to have a couple of drinks today and try to get it off my mind. Thank you to everyone who's reading this. Well, I think the fact of the matter is that the guy has gone with you. He knows what it is already. He knows what you used to do in your past. So if the guy had a problem with that, why did he end up dating you? I don't understand that. I think, listen, there's some men out here, and I'm probably, let's say one of them as well, who probably wouldn't date someone who does adult content, OF stuff, all the above, naked filming, because they feel like potentially that is someone they can't really, let's say, feel that that's a great way of potentially living, but and their partner to be exposed in those certain settings. But that guy has gone with you, knowing what you do, knowing that you've told him as well that is what you do. So it's more for him. Do you know what I mean? And now you've changed or turned the corner. He wants to hold these things against you. Now, my advice to you, lady, is to leave this jackass. You know what I mean? Because this guy's not going to change. He's claiming, obviously, that he was okay with it when he clearly wasn't. And if he wasn't okay with it, why did he end up getting with you? Do you know what I mean? Because the problem is now, they say you can never... How do you say these kind of quotes? It's not coming to me right now, but without being very rude, but this is what does need to be said. You can never make a hoe a housewife. I mean, they always say this in the books, to be honest, but this is what the path you chose to go on, and I'm not knocking you for that. That's your prerogative to do what you have to do. Personally, for me, if you told me that at the start, it's not going to go down. It ain't going out like that. It ain't going out. I can't go down that route. So for him to know that he's not okay with that and still take that route tells me that this guy's intentions were purely just some mad thoughts. He thought, hey, I can just try and get my cake and eat it too. But unfortunately, this is the scenario. You've got yourself into a predicament where you've fallen in love with a girl that you probably didn't want to fall in love with. And the matter of fact is now, you're looking like an idiot. And that's just what it is. He's looking like a fool with his pants on the ground. He's looking like a fool. My advice, as I stated, leave him. Get out right now. The end of you and me, the JoJo stuff. Just leave. Because you staying in this relationship is only hurting you. Do you know what I mean? Because if you told the guy what it was from the start and the guy didn't want to accept it, and then now he's saying he can accept it and then he was not accepting it, then it's a him problem. Do you know what I mean? And listen, as I said, certain man, this is a red flag for certain man. But he knew it from the start and he said he was okay with it. So it's him that's the problem. You should leave him. And that's all I've got to say on that. Let's move on to the next piece of advice. I know it might have seemed harsh, what I said, but I said what I said. Great. We're going to have a first pause, so we will come back. Two minutes. Yes, I'm back. All right, let's get on to the next one. My wife gave a man 10 stitches on his face alone and destroyed his life. And I have never, ever been happier. I thought he was going to do the Chris Jericho stuff. Never, ever be the same again. Wow. You know what I mean? But let's get on more what the story is saying. Okay. So throw this away because my wife would kill me if she knew I was posting this. Sorry, it's out here. Just saying. So I don't know what that says there, but yeah. So I and my wife have been married for only a few months now, but I wanted to share a story she told me back when we were still dating. It's something that made me realize just how strong she really is. Well, you probably are dating Jade Cargill or something, you have to be very careful. The storm is coming and all of that. But anyways, so when my wife was a teenager, she had an horrible ex. He was mentally abusive, constantly manipulating her by threatening self-harm if she didn't do what he wanted. He insulted her, called her fat, even though she was actually underweight at the time, and never defended her when others mistreated her. To make things worse, he harassed his little cousin, something my wife found out about later, and it was the final straw for her. She broke up with him immediately. Good on her. Fast forward a year later, my wife was in college and life had moved on, until one night when she ran into him again. There was a festival being celebrated at her junior college around 8 p.m. She had gone inside to grab something from her bag. Somehow this absolute creep had managed to sneak into the building. He had been studying in another state, but he came back for the holidays, and instead of, I don't know, not being a predator, he used his free time to stalk and abuse my wife. You probably guess what he tried to do, my word. Now keep this in mind, my wife is only 5'1" and about 550 kg, 100 pounds at the time. He was around 6 feet tall and had a weight advantage on her. But guess what? She just didn't sit there and take it. She fought. She dodged his attempts, kicked him hard in the groin. When he doubled over, she dug her nails into his face and dragged them down with everything she had. By the time he was done, screaming in pain, his face was a bloody mess. It took 10 stitches. I originally thought it was 12, but my wife corrected me. His face was never the same after that. And when people heard the commotion and rushed in, they found my wife standing over him while he was writhing on the floor. I don't know what happened to him after that, and frankly I don't care. But I do know one thing, he never bothered her again. And now she's married to me, someone who actually respects and loves her. She survived, she fought back, and she won. I have never, ever been proud of her. Listen, big her up, man. You know what I mean? Like, the fact of the matter is that this creep thought he could try it on with her. And then she was ready for that. You know what I mean? Like, in all seriousness, though, I want to say big up to her. You know what I mean? To be taking that abuse from man and thinking that you are not valued and not appreciated in this relationship, and then you went and you fought, you kicked man in the nuts, you should have done a lot more to him. You know what I mean? My advice is she should have done a lot more to him. You know what I mean? But after that, the police should have been called. You know what I mean? But I tend to think certain people won't believe certain people's stories. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you're just lying and making it up. Somebody's done something. But big up to her for fighting the guy. Big up to her for standing for herself. Because this guy thought he can come and try and do a thing again and think he was the man or big boss man, and he's an idiot. You know what I mean? He's a fool. You know what I mean? People like that deserve to be put and locked up in prison. You know what I mean? First of all, I think what I would say to her now as an evidence there, to go and get as much as she can on this guy. Everything he's done, anything you can take to the court of law to prove that this guy is, a suspect. And obviously to prevent this from happening to a future person, because this guy can go out there and do it to someone else if he can do it to you. You know what I mean? To make you feel that you are underappreciated and undervalued, and then now she's in a better relationship where this man is treating her like she's gold. Spandau Ballet stuff, which she fully deserves. You know what I mean? But I would say gather as much evidence as you can and try to take that guy down, because do it before it's too late and he ends up hurting someone else. That's just my advice on that. And cool, well, that is my advice. But what do you guys think of my advice? You can put your comments below on that one or keep it to yourself. With that, we're going to move on now to the pick your poison. got a lot to get through in this episode, so the man's trying to zoom down the rabbit hole. More women, more alcohol here, yay! All of that. So I live in my life, yeah, that's what I do best. Girls in my back wanna show the interest. If you don't, that's Retch 32 song. Trapped out. But yeah, let's get into this. Pick your poison. Alright. This is gonna be a mad one still. What to pick? Alright. Let's pick 2 random cards on what I would rather do. Taking long to come up with these 2 cards. Alright. The 2 cards have been picked. So, would I rather have everyone's name that you've ever kissed tattooed somewhere on your body, offer oral sex to the 5th person you see every day? Let's go with the first one. Yeah, I mean, have everyone's name that I've ever kissed tattooed somewhere on your body. I've genuinely kissed 1 person in my lifetime. So people are like, what? No, I think it was 2 actually. It was 2. Yeah, it was 2. So 2 people. You know what I mean? It's fine. I mean, one when I was a youth, and one obviously during the era when I was 20s. Yeah. So there are 2 people I've generally ever kissed. So yeah, sad life, isn't it? But anyways, we move. Next couple of ones. What would I rather do? Okay, pick your poison cards. Hopefully these ones are not a mad one to decide from, but let's go. Get mauled by a pack of stray pit bulls. Furiously masturbate over the open casket at a wake. Ew. Both of them are a bit techie still, very techie. The mauling one, you're not going to survive. I won't survive. I mean, it's not that I will survive. I generally won't. Pack of pit bulls. It's gonna tear me limb from limb, literally. The masturbating over the open casket at a wake is crazy. It obviously will have to be someone who is generally attractive, I guess, from meeting partners. I'll never participate in that, but just in the open thoughts of what I'd rather do in either or, it's definitely this one. I would definitely obviously have to do it. It's going to be grim still, but I would have to do it because I don't want to do the other one. I'll just die. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, let's come to the next lot. Pick your poison cards. Find a video of your parents on a BDSM porn site. Yikes. Blow a horse to completion. Yeah, I'm not doing a horse thing. I'd rather do the parents one. It's gonna be so bad to see that, but I'd rather do that than the horse thing. This man's not into touching animals or doing so. Both of them are grim, but this is the less of all evils, so I'm gonna go with that one. All right, we'll come to another one. Let's get another one. Alright, eat a human heart or get 3 tattoos of your mother's face surrounding your genitals. Let's go with heart. Carnival setting. You know what I mean? The heart. Yeah. There's no explanation on that one. Just rather do that than the other one, really. So yeah. Alright, these will be the last 2, and then we'll call it time. Alright, call everyone you've ever slept with and tell them you have HIV. Text them in the next morning. Swim in a pool of warm urine. I mean, I think I've probably done that before at some point. Sorry, it's background noise. I've probably done that at some point, you know, where I have, in some ways of not knowing, in a pool full of a lot of people, done that. So yeah, swim in a pool, urine, yeah. And that's it, guys, for this episode of Pick Your Poison. What are your thoughts below on that one? Mad ones, but put your comments on that one and keep them to yourself. With that, we're going to move forward now to talk Adolescence. So, the first 2 episodes of Adolescence were pretty grim, pretty mad to see, but I think it's good to see a program that shows you the hard-hitting stuff. Now, obviously, I've seen the 2 episodes of Adolescence. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen the 2 episodes, and I think it was a madness. But in terms of everything to how they told the story, I think it was brilliant. Now, obviously, it's gotten a lot of heat online with a lot of certain people saying, "Oh, why didn't they portray it? They're portraying it wrong. It should have been a person of color or whatever." It's people just straight racism. Do you know what I mean? Like, in every different place of England there, or even Scotland or Wales, the community there, or you could say the population of here in Britain is about 4% of black people. You could say Asians, others probably make another like 3 or 4%. The majority in this country is about 90%. So you're trying to single out people of color, thinking people of color are the problem, when it's not just people of color. You know what I mean? It's everyone. You know what I mean? It's generally teenagers nowadays that are out here carrying weapons. You know what I mean? In gangs. You know what I mean? So it's not just a color thing. You know, to quote So Camel, is it a color thing? You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? So I think with the reporters and the people out there are talking shit, they don't generally know what they're on. You know what I mean? Again, it's straight dumbassness, racism. You know what I mean? Thinking about bullshit is like, oh, it's just black people that do this. Come on, man. Stereotypical against this bullshit where it's like, oh yeah, all black people are doing it. No, it's not all black people. As I said, there's a mixture of people. As I said, the population we make up is not a lot compared to Caucasians. Caucasians 90% in this country, but people want to make it out like it's a black thing, like it's an Asian thing, like it's a person of different color thing. It's not. Do you know what I mean? So that's just me saying what it is, because this needs to be put in check. Where certain people are chatting crap, chatting shit. They don't know what they're on, and they're just waffling at the highest order. So you know what I mean? That for me tells me all I need to know about some of these people, that their minds aren't getting checked. You know what I mean? They're talking some foolishness and they're thinking that, oh yeah, this is the right thing that I'm saying. No, it's not the right thing you're saying. But anyways, back to Adolescence. I think obviously the program told the story the way it needed to tell the story. The fact of the matter is, this youth thought with this youth was innocent, and we find out this youth is not. You know what I mean? The story tells itself and it compels itself. Now, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but the first 2 episodes were very shocking in telling me all I needed to know about what was going on here. You know what I mean? The anger, the upset. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that he lied to his parent as well. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm giving you spoilers, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And all the above, where this kid thought, you know what I mean, that he could get away with it. You know what I mean? Meddling kids and all that. You know what I mean? But I think the cinematic approach as well by the people involved, big up to obviously Stephen Graham as well, did a great job. Ashley Walters too. Do you know what I mean? All of the cast, I think they were really good. Do you know what I mean? To portray the emotions, to portray everything. I think there were certain things where I thought, okay, Ashley Walters, and you know what I mean, where he acted a bit over the top, but you could tell as a parent, it kind of touched in certain nerves and that. But the fact of the matter is, I think with the first episode, they managed to shoot that all in one go. I think it was pretty brilliant. I think without some flawlessly seams, I think that was really good or really well executed. So big up to them. They really did their job there. Madness. As I said, excuse the background noise. I'm not alone. It's just the things that I'm going through. But big up to them, the cast and the crew of Adolescence. I think they did a wonderful job. You know what I mean? Portraying these 2 episodes and the stories. I know a lot of people are saying it's long in terms of obviously they haven't got to the point a lot sooner. I hear that still. But I think in terms of how they will tell the story, it needed to be told in that long region for it to come to that end path. So I didn't really have an issue with it. I found it to still be engaging and tell me all I needed to know step by step, so you could see all the steps that took to come to that conclusion and that decision. So for me, it did what it needed to do. First 2 episodes, banging. Absolutely enjoying it. Hopefully we'll see more and what's more to come in the rest of the episodes coming for myself. And everybody else has seen it. Potentially majority of people have binge watched it, but I wanted to take my time in this one. Take your time with it. Take your time. But anyways, cool. But that's that, and that's my thoughts on Adolescence. What do you guys think? Put your comments below on that one. Keep to yourself. I may have said it wrong as well. Adolescence. Say Adolescence. But anyways, it is what it is there. Cool. We're going to move forward now to talk about the FA Cup. So let's get on to that and talk about the FA Cup and get on to my thoughts of the FA Cup. So currently, as I said, I believe that the game is still happening live, where it's now half time. Bournemouth are 1-0 up against Man City. So big up to Bournemouth. They are currently leading against Man City, doing a job that needs to be done. So, congratulations to them, currently leading. Hopefully they ended up, going through and leading and beating Man City, because obviously I don't want to see Man City hold the title again. For me, they need to lose this game and get a reality check. Punch it all and check all of that. So anyways, let's just get on to more of the matches that did happen in the FA Cup. We're going to touch on all of them. So, excuse me, just trying to find them all. Here we are. Okay, so Fulham versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace beating Fulham 3-0. So congratulations to Crystal Palace for going through. Eddie Nketiah on the score sheet. I think there were a couple of other people. I didn't watch the game live, but Fulham again losing, and they're out of the FA Cup. It's not looking good for them. We've got them next, Arsenal, so we'll see what happens there. My predictions, I'll tell you when that comes. Brighton, drawing with Nottingham Forest, but Nottingham Forest ended up going from penalties, up to Nottingham Forest, 4-3 winners on the day in terms of the penalty shootout, and they go through to the next stage to meet, or potentially meet, whoever they're meeting in the semi-finals. So the next one, we've got Preston losing 3-0 to Aston Villa. I think I did kind of predict that Aston Villa would win, so big up to Aston Villa. 3-0 winners. They go through as well. And obviously, as I said, Bournemouth 1-0 up against City, so Bournemouth currently leading the pack, so big up to Bournemouth. All right, the next one, semi-finals. We come to Nottingham Forest are going to face the winners of Bournemouth and Man City. Hopefully, I think it will be Bournemouth going through, but you never know. Man City could turn this around, but hopefully Bournemouth hold on and they end up winning. If it was Man City against Nottingham Forest, I would hopefully back Nottingham Forest to win. Even if I think it was Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest, I would back Nottingham Forest to win that semi-final. So the next one we've got on the semi-final lineup is Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. They potentially will be played on the 26th of April, both games. I think Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. For me, I think Aston Villa will beat Crystal Palace. I see them going through to the final. So I think the final would be Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest. Who do I think is going to win that one? Aston Villa. I've got them down as the winners. So I think Aston Villa overall will win the FA Cup. And that's just my thoughts on that one. What are you guys' thoughts on that, the FA Cup? You can put your comments below on that one. Keep them to yourself. With that, obviously, we're going to move forward now to talk the Premier League. So let's get on to the Premier League and the thoughts of the Premier League. As I said, excuse the background noise, there's a lot of waffling on. As I said, it's Mother's Day, everything's just happening, it's just crazy out here. So, this is the only free time I have. Mondays is a bit mad, so this is generally the only day I've got to do this thing, so it is what it is. It's going to be a very noisy episode. What's going on? What's going on? All of that. So we'll come on to, obviously, the Premier League and the match day 30s thoughts. Let's get on to that. Wolves versus West Ham, which is on Tuesday, the 1st of April, 7:45 p.m. My predictions is that West Ham, I'm going to go for Wolves on this one. 2-1 to Wolves. Arsenal versus Fulham, 1st of April game, again, 7:45 p.m. I'm going to go for Arsenal winning this one. Fulham obviously would probably want to respond, but I think Arsenal will have just enough probably to get over the line. There's talks Bukayo Saka is potentially back. I think it'll be 2-1 Arsenal. Very tight game. I think we'll just get through with the 2-1. Nottingham Forest versus Man United. I think Nottingham Forest will get a win here. I do see United probably scoring a goal, but I think Nottingham Forest will catch them on the count now. I'm thinking 3-1 Nottingham Forest. The next one, Southampton versus Crystal Palace. Game on Wednesday, 2nd of April, 7:45 p.m. Southampton against Crystal Palace. I think that's going to be Southampton winning this. No, why is this? No. Crystal Palace, sorry. I'm going to go for a very tight one, though. I think it will be very hard for Palace to beat them at home. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Crystal Palace win. That noise, wow. But anyways, Bournemouth versus Ipswich Town. This is moving mad. But anyways, Bournemouth versus Ipswich Town. I think that's going to be Bournemouth winning this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1. Yeah, a 2-1 Bournemouth win. That's my thoughts on that one. The next one, Brighton versus Aston Villa. The Wednesday's game, 7:45 p.m. Brighton against Villa. I think Villa are going to win this one. I'm going for a 3-1 Villa win against Brighton. Newcastle versus Brentford Town. Again, Newcastle, holders of the Carling Cup. Big up to them. You know what I mean? It's Carabao Cup, sorry. Carling, Carabao. Yeah, comme ci, comme ça, all of that. I think they'll beat Brentford here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle win. Man City versus Leicester City. I'm going to go for a Man City winner. I'm going to go probably a 3-1 Man City win. Liverpool versus Everton. 2nd of April. I'm going to go for a Liverpool winner. I'm going to go for a very tight game. Probably be very entertaining. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool win. Chelsea versus Tottenham. This is the Thursday game, 3rd April, 8 p.m. I'm going to go for a Chelsea winner. I'm going to go for I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1 to be honest, on that game. And that's it, guys. For my predictions in the Premier League, you can put your comments below on that one. Keep it to yourself. And that's it, guys. We've come to the end of the episode, the end of this podcast. This chaotic, mad episode. Background noise and all of that is happening. But hopefully the sound effects should be back on, and obviously the music should be pumping really loud. Who knows? I may just debut one of my songs at this point in time. Just give you guys a debut of one of them now and just hit it in the background. I might just do that, to be honest, and just give you guys a sample of what's to come. But anyway, all of that and the above. Appreciate you guys' times, first times watchers, season watchers, and they're thinking, man, this is mad, but this is what it is. Podcast is bootleg. You're going to get bootleg settings here. As I said, I don't have a studio, so this is all what's going to happen, and the above and everything like that. So big up yourselves, and obviously you know what to do below. If you're feeling this episode and all that, you probably are not. I'm not feeling this. This is just mad. I don't like this. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? But thank you guys for checking out this episode. You know what I usually do here. Peace, love, unity, have fun, and you're either all in or clear out.